What's up, guys? The AB Fitness Center show is back. It's your host, Anthony Bevilacqua, alongside my co-host today, which is Tom Merck. So for those of you who have never heard Tom Merck on this before, Tom is actually one of my clients from years ago. He's also a good friend. I just always am used to referring to you as a client, Tom, but he's one of my good friends. And Tom came to me when he was a youngin', and I helped him lose 80 pounds. And fast forward to today, he took a liking to health and fitness and became a coach himself. And now he runs one of our facilities. So Tom Merck, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Let's go. I'm great. I'm ready for the holidays. I'm prepped and successful. I feel successful. I'm ready to go.
That's good, man. That's good. Yeah. Today we're going to be talking about how to avoid holiday weight gain with these 5 strategies that we have and we implement. I think it's going to be good because I can't believe it's Christmas already.
Oh my gosh. It's only a week away.
I know. The time flies by, Tom.
It's crazy.
The time flies by. But yeah, let's get rolling right into it, man, because I know everyone's kind of excited. Like, I think people, when December rolls around, like right after Thanksgiving, everybody just kind of goes on autopilot. And I think that's like the pre-mistake that everybody makes, is they just kind of put everything on autopilot. So I think that's what's happening. And now, Christmas is on a Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
So, because it's on a Saturday, this whole week is like, for people, it's like a wash. Like, holiday, it's all right. I'll start on Monday. That's the wrong way to go about it. So we want you guys to be strong with our 5 strategies, which is why we're putting this out today. So let's get rolling with this one, and I'll let you take the first one, Tom. And the first one is practice slow eating.
Yeah. So this is a pretty prominent habit that we try to have people understand and develop. But the real, I guess, big point behind slow eating is that when you eat slowly, it gives your body more time to understand that you're taking food in. So if you want to get technical, your brain and your stomach are telling each other there's food being received. So after they get enough food in, there's going to be something, whether it be your brain or your belly, that says, okay, Tom just took 26
calories.
Yeah, 1,000. Oh God.
The rainbow cookies.
Yeah, that's all in the cookies. That's not even like the dinner itself. But so say they're communicating saying Tom just took in 25 minutes worth of food. There's no reason we need to tell him to go and continue to eat. We don't have to send any more hunger signals telling him to go search for more food. So if it takes you a long time to eat, basically, it prevents you from eating extra calories afterwards. Everybody knows that person. I know this guy sitting right across from the screen. He eats extremely fast. I eat extremely slow. And after the meal, we actually had the same meal one day. This guy finished it in like 2 minutes. I had the meal for like a whole half an hour. And he's like, I'm starving. And I'm like, yeah, you're starving. You just shoveled your food down. That's why. So it really does help prevent extra calories from coming in. And you can do that whether you time yourself on your phone, or you just focus on the environment or the ambiance, whatever it may be, the people, and it helps you slow down and not get in 25 extra 1,000 calories of rainbow cookies.
Well, the problem is, I think too, when you're sitting down at the table with everybody, Tom, and everybody's eating together, that becomes more of an issue, because now everyone around you is eating. So everyone's like piling crap on your plate. So now, everyone's eating around you. Everybody's like, shoveling it in, and you're like trying to keep up with everybody almost. So I think that's a good strategy to understand that, listen, it takes about 20 minutes for your brain to realize that you actually got food in you. So one of the things, and I'm going to add to this, so this would be 1A, right? Well, this is 1B technically. What you said was 1A. But 1A, and a strategy I always use, is right before sitting at the table, have a scoop of protein powder, 1 or 2 scoops of protein powder right before you sit down. By the time you have that first serving of food, that protein powder would have hit your stomach, and your brain would be like, oh, I got food now, so I'm good. And it kind of slows that down. So for someone who eats like a seagull, like I do, where it's just like, I just swallow my food, I need to do strategies like that, because if I go to the table hungry, I could devour a lot of food really, really fast.
Not to mention the liquid also fills you up too. So it's kind of like a win-win. Not only does protein, bring up your body heat, and it also fills you up more than anything else, but the water, this is going to tell your body that something's there, and it's going to help you kind of like say, oh, I don't need as much because the tank is already 20% full. So It's going to help you in plenty of ways.
You know, what's funny is like some people go into the mentality of like, it's a holiday today, I can't wait to like just go in and go for it. It's
Yeah.
like, that's the wrong way to look at it. I think overall, just from a standpoint of like having healthy eating like habits, I just think it's the wrong way to like think about it. Because if you mentally prep your mind and you say, hey, I'm going to eat all the manicotti that I want today, and I'm going to eat all the lasagna that I want. That's like the defeatist mindset. And I wrote about this the other day in our private Facebook group that we have for our members. But I wrote about how, use this as the time to separate from everybody else. Use this as like separation season. And it's important to kind of like put that in your mind. Like, how can you challenge yourself? Forget everybody else, forget Tom, forget me, but how can you challenge yourself? That person who looks back at you in the mirror, how do you challenge that person and say, what can I do to benefit myself this year versus last year? Listen, while your mom's lasagna is wonderful, you don't need pounds and pounds of it. A piece is literally all you need.
It's heavy food too. Holiday food is pretty heavy.
It's all the oils and the fats.
So
man.
if you eat slowly and you just enjoy your food, you're going to be satisfied with what you get. You're probably not even going to need to eat that much realistically. So you'll enjoy it, and it's going to be there for the following week. So, there's no running to get everything. It's going to be there.
Man, we could have made this list like 10 strategies. Now that we're talking, I'm like, I have like 3 more that I could add.
I know. There's so, the strategies to help are endless. It's just the application that really makes the big difference.
Right. And that's why you want to give people as many applications as we can. So this way you could apply whatever you think is best. Like for me, like eating slow will never work. So I have to use the strategy of having the protein shake beforehand, because that'll help me to slow down eating because I'll physically be full. So that's like, if you're on your way to somebody's house, 2 scoops of protein while you're on the way goes a long way. And especially stops you from picking at those extra things too. Because we forget sometimes, appetizers and this and that on the table. Well, it'll stop all that. All right. Number 2, strategy number 2. And I like this one. This is a really easy one. And I like simple things. Keep it simple. The simpler, the better. So the half rule. And that's what I call this one, the half rule. So what I do, especially if I'm dieting and trying to lose body fat, I'll fill my plate like I normally would. Like I'm not going to deprive myself when I fill my plate, but I make sure I go around and I fill my plate with what I want. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. I just stack it. And then when I sit down, I tell myself, okay, I'm literally going to have half this plate and that's it. Simple, no thinking. But now it's like I've picked out what I wanted. So mentally I've gotten everything that I wanted, because as soon as you tell yourself like you can't have your mom's lasagna, you're going to want it 10 times more. So by putting the amount that you want on the plate and then just physically having everything, it goes a long way into mentally winning. You ever used the half rule, Tom Merck?
I don't think I have, but I've practiced leaving food on my plate. I've actually, I'm Italian, so it's like the food needs to be finished. The plate needs to be washed before it hits the dishwasher, technically. So, but I actually practiced because I found that to be like a very forget leaving half the food. I was leaving 0 grains of rice at the end of the day. But I had to practice with like leaving a few peas, a few pieces of rice, and then I was like, all right, let me just stop when I feel like I'm like at a decent capacity. Your rule and my rule would be pretty much the same thing. I would call it stopping at 80% full or stopping at 80% satisfied, not overstuffing. Because when you overstuff, you just practice filling yourself to the brim, which is not comfortable, and it's definitely not good for your calories. And then when you diet, you're going to still look to fill yourself to the brim with less food. It's not very good, but it's basically the same rule. I wouldn't leave 50% on the plate, but I would leave like a decent amount.
Yeah, for me, like I don't know what that means, 80% full. Like I don't know what that means. Like I have 1 or 2 modes, starting or completely full. So it goes one of 2 ways. So for me, it's like 80%. I'm like, I don't know where that is. So I'll just half everything that I eat. But when I say I fill my plate, then I fill it. So it's probably about 70. It probably ends up working out to be the same.
That's good. That's good.
But it's more of the mental act of like, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this, and putting the amount that I would like love to eat on the plate, and then just having half. You'd be surprised by the time you get to like the end of your half, you're like, I'm full.
Yeah. It's still a lot of food too. Even if you have all the foods you like, I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like holiday food is like really filling. I usually do pretty well on the holidays, but I don't know. I'm going to do better this year, but We'll
Well, that's
stop at
it.
79% full. That's what
Yeah,
we'll do.
you better, man, or else if you're at 81%, we're in
Yeah.
trouble.
Oh no.
We're in trouble. All right, number three, strategy number three, continuing to lift and to work out. I can't even begin how important this is. Again, like I said, most people, they're getting holiday mode and it's so easy to put everything else on the back burner. Oh, I got to go shopping or I got to get last minute gifts or this or that. Your workouts have to be consistent. You need to keep that consistency in your life because remember, fitness is not something you do for a couple weeks and then stop. And I've said this so many times, but it's just like brushing your teeth. You brush your teeth every day, right, Tom Merck? I'd hope so.
Yeah.
And what would happen if you didn't?
Teeth start to rot, you get bad breath, and then you're
Right.
you're sending people in the other direction.
Yeah. And it's the same thing when it comes to your health and your fitness. You need to do it every day. You need to, go for walks. You need to exercise with weights a couple times a week. You need to understand what you're eating nutrition wise. I mean, it's one of those halves in your life, and you can't let the holidays get in the way. So you just need to make sure that you stay consistent with your workouts. So don't miss a workout, and do whatever you can to make up for it if you miss.
Yeah, I think that's a big point right there. Just doing whatever. I like to think of training as something that stays the same. Like my life is always going to be revolving and I'm always going to have to adapt to things, right? Like work and whatever. And I like to think that training is going to be the only thing that's going to stay the same as far as the variable goes. Obviously, your training changes, but I always think that I'm going to go to the gym during the week. So that's going to be something that stays as a staple while everything else kind of moves or it doesn't move, whatever it may be. I would just like to control that, say, all right, well, I'm going to go to the gym on Wednesday. I know Wednesday is going to be a gym day. That's going to be the same every week. I know Friday is going to be an off day. I'll just do most of my stuff if I can on Friday. I don't really have to worry about training that much. But, even if you do skip a day, I usually have this thing where I say don't skip twice in a row. So if you skip once, that's fine. If you skip twice, it's not necessarily a red flag, but I would make a valiant effort to get back into the gym as soon as possible. You want to be nudging yourself in the right direction more than the opposite direction.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I call that the 2 day rule.
Yeah.
You just can't let it happen 2 days in a row. And it's a really
Yeah.
good rule and a good rule of thumb to have, but it just has to be part of your life. So, I like giving real world applications when I talk about these things. And for me, it has just become very difficult to actually do that because I physically don't miss a day. Like it's just
Yeah.
impossible. Like the world would have to literally crumble around me for me to miss a workout. It's just so ingrained. And like I said in that post that I posted earlier in our private Facebook group, is just like it's always for me, it's more of a mental thing on how I could challenge myself to do it. So me missing a workout is like there's no excuse. I could be sick. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to the gym. It doesn't. I could have a fever, food poisoning, which I've had recently, and still worked out that day. It was a horrible workout. Probably shouldn't have done it, but it's just a mental thing that I have to check in my
Okay.
mind that I did it. But you had a good story the other day, and I want you to tell it when you got the flat tire.
Oh yeah. Oh God. So this was on a Monday. On a Monday, of course. So it was Monday morning. I'm heading to the gym. It's one of my longer gym days. It was about, I think, an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes spent in the gym, warm up, cool down, whatever, the full nine. And I'm driving down the block and I get like a little tire pressure warning and my tire's flat. So I roll the window down and I hear air shooting out of the tire. It's literally like a straw. There's a metal straw in my tire. I get out. I'm like, what the hell? Okay, I guess I'm going back home. So I went back home and I popped off the tire with my brother, popped on what is it, the spare tire. And I was like,
Um, yes, Tom, the spare.
I listen, I never get flats that bad. So this was like really like a wrench in the day. But I was like, okay, I want to be at the gym at 9:30. I got to be there at 9:30. That's my goal, right? So I'm back home at 9:30. I'm like, okay, we gotta facilitate this process here. So what I'm gonna do is I had to look ahead and see what was going on in my day. So after training, I usually have about an hour and a half. So I said, all right, I'm gonna go straight to the auto body shop and just have the guy plug the tire after my session, and then after that, I'll be totally fine. So had a flat tire, drove it home, immediately took the tire off, put on the spare, went to the gym, came back home, took the tire to the place, they plugged it, back on my way, literally back to normal.
But one
But
of
I
the things,
wasn't gonna not go to the gym for that. Like, this is what I like to tell myself. If it's only gonna take a flat tire to throw me off my game, that's not a very good excuse. Like, I would expect like somebody is shooting at my windshield for me to not go to the gym, mainly because like the police are holding me captive to answer questions. But like a flat tire, I got to be real with myself. That's not, if that's all that it's going to take to stop me, then I have a lot of work to do, you know?
yeah, seriously. I mean, we obviously have a business together, and it's just like these excuses that people give sometimes, and I'm not going to call anyone out on it, but it's ridiculous. Some of the things like, that it's just unreal. Like for me, and it's very hard for me to like relate to that now because I kind of been through it all already. I have a family, I have like a house, I have a business, I have all these things that people were telling me were an excuse years ago that I have all those things down. It's not an excuse, but you know, if you're going to look for an excuse, like you said, like a simple thing like that, like my tire, like, yes, it's a real big inconvenience, but you still make it work. And that's the key between somebody who will, like, you lost 80 pounds, right? But you've successfully kept those 80 pounds off for years. And that's what most people don't understand. It's like, you don't just lose the weight. You have to lose it and keep it off. And you keep it off by having habits like that, that make it easy for you to kind of just, it has to come like that. It has to.
Yeah, I would think that like if there's like one thing that helped me keep the weight off for these like past 9 years, is it's no matter what's going on, you're always gonna look for a avenue to find a way to get it done. Like, you want to exhaust all options before you actually give up. And then at the end of the day, if you tried literally everything in your book and you still ended up failing, you could then say, listen, I gave literally everything I got. I went to the end of the world and back, and it just wasn't meant to be. So you get back on it tomorrow. But if you look for like, oh, there's a road or there's an excuse, I'm going to pick that, you're obviously not going to get good results. You got to try to find a way to win no matter what the environment or circumstances are. And that helps you stay consistent moving forward. Like, now I know a flat tire is no big deal. So if I get another one next week or tomorrow, whatever, I'm going to go get it changed. I've done this before, hit the gym, back on track.
Right. So it's just about continuing, and we kind of got a little off tangent here, but like the whole point is just you want to stay consistent. You don't want to use the holidays as an excuse. Okay. You just don't. And I'm yelling at you. I'm telling you right now, not you, Tom Merck, but everybody listening to this, like, stop making stupid excuses and just get to work. And if you find yourself making those stupid excuses, really think about like, do I want this? Like, really think about that. Because fitness is not easy. It's not at all. And
you got to be hard on yourself for sure.
yeah. And it's more of a, like you said too, it's more of like it's definitely a you versus you thing. You have to be able to give yourself challenges every day to overcome them. But when you do that and you do that consistently, you really find out what you're made of, and you're able to say like, listen, if I could do this, anybody could do it. So stay consistent when you're working out, people. And that's your coach, AB, here telling you that you better get your ass to the gym or else. Right, Tom Merck?
Or else no rainbow cookies. That's it.
All right. Number 4, and this is a good strategy that you should always be doing year round, but weight training. Okay. We talked about being consistent at the gym, but weight training is what you primarily should be focusing on. Lifting weights is so important when it comes to sculpting your body and changing the way your body looks. Obviously the more muscle we have, the leaner we'll look, the better we'll look, the more energy we'll have, the stronger we'll be. So obviously muscle is always should always be on your mind. And whether you like it or not, and I've told so many people this, women, male, hot, big, tall, doesn't matter. If you want to change the shape of your body, you are considered a bodybuilder. So you got to start shifting the way you think. You're a bodybuilder. You want to change the way you look. So you have to use the tools that you have to shape and sculpt your body, and that's weights. So you need to be weight training. If you're spending time, like, I know some people are going to say, I'm going to go do some extra cardio because I know I'm going to overdo it on Christmas. That's a huge no-no, because that's going to screw up your metabolism, and it's just calories burned. That's it. It doesn't really work like that either.
Yeah.
You want to
I
add
would
anything?
say too, like, I think most people don't realize it, but they actually want a more muscular body. Like 90% of the people that come in or like, give us a call, I want to get defined, toned, I want to lose weight, lose fat. that also basically just generalizes one thing. You want to lose body fat or
Yep.
become more muscular. How do you become more muscular? It's definitely not doing cardio. Cardio is like flipping a light on and then turning it off, right? It's going to only burn energy while it's on, and then when it's off, it's cooling off, whatever. You get what I'm saying? But how do you build, how do you become more muscular? Weight training. Consistently weight training as well.
Yeah, that was a good word to add in there, Tom.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah.
Not, oh, I'll do it for 2 weeks and then stop. Doesn't work
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't work like that, my friends. But yeah, obviously you want to make sure you're weight training, making sure you're doing your compound lifts, squats, deadlifts, bench press, overhead press. All those types of movements are going to change your body in the fastest amount of time possible. And just doing them with progression. I guess that's something else that we should talk about, focusing on getting stronger with those movements. You know, like if you've just started and you're squatting the barbell and now you're doing whatever, 50, 60 pounds, you've progressed. Your body would have put on muscle in order from that progression. So that's something that you want to keep doing and aim to striving to do, but you need to be weight training. I would say 80% of your time in the gym should be weight training based, and maybe more.
Yeah, I would say so.
More. All right, number 5, and this is the final strategy we'll give, even though we could probably go on here and give like 10 more. But number 5, this is one that I like, and I use this strategy a lot. And again, all these things are strategies, so you need to keep that in mind. But go on a carb and fat fast one day prior and that day as well. So I like using this a lot because it allows you to bank all those extra calories that you're going to have. So you don't lose fat in one day. You know, don't lose, okay, I ate a salad for lunch, I'm going to lose body fat today. No, it doesn't work like that. Your body basically sees calories, protein, carbs, fats, vitamins, minerals, and it sees like the total that you have over the course of a week, months, and so on. So if you're whatever supposed to have, just throwing a random number out there, and I'm horrible at math, but if you're supposed to have 50,000 calories at the end of 7 days, again, I don't know how many calories that works out to be.
That's a lot.
I don't know, whatever. I'm just using a random number so people can understand. So if you're supposed to have 50,000 calories at the end of the day, and you have at the end of the week, and you basically don't have 3,000 of them on Friday, you can have those 3,000 extra on Saturday if you wanted to, because your body's only going to see that total weekly calories. So by avoiding carbs and fats and going on a carb and fat fast, you're able to kind of bank all those extra calories that you would normally eat and utilize them on a different day. You want to add anything to that, Tom?
I'm trying to figure out how to, I wouldn't say like, listen, you don't have to go, like 0 fat and 0 carb. The gist is you want to just eat less food, mainly from the things that are more able to be manipulated, like carbs and fats. Eat less of them so that you're eating less calories, but your average is going to be the same over the course of the week. You're basically just pooling calories to the end of the week or whatever, that day that you plan on having that food-centric event.
Well, the reason why I say not to have anything is because people will be like, oh, I'm not, I'll just have a banana.
Actually,
and they'll still have it and not even realize that they had it. Like, yes, a banana is healthy.
Yeah.
It's like 27 grams of extra carbs that you don't need, that you could have in you're going to have in rainbow cookies tomorrow anyway. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of look at it like that and just don't, I would say the best way to do it is don't add carbs into the day. Don't add carbs or fat. So like peanut butter's out, like any type of carb added in is out. But if you have like Greek yogurt that's going to have some carbs in it, that's okay because it's not added.
I'm assuming that the people that are doing this are like counting macros and they know like every single like rice cakes are carbs and I'm assuming they know all that. If that's the case, then yeah, by all means just lower your calories and just go super low low carb, low fat. If you're not and you don't know like the food differences and stuff, then yeah, I would mainly stick to proteins and vegetables and things like that and just don't add any extra carbs and fats in.
Yeah, exactly. And beans are not protein, people. And neither is peanut butter. I can't believe it's 2021. It's going to be 2022 and people still think that to be true.
I think that was like an old marketing tactic in like the 60s. People would like market peanut butter as a protein source. So everyone in their 50s and 60s is like, oh, are you kidding me? That's protein. I'm like, oh, I don't think so. Actually, no, it's not. Never mind.
Yeah, and beans, that's at the best. Oh, beans have protein. It's like, yeah, they do, but they have way more carbs in it than they do protein.
maybe like a vegetarian vegan protein source, but still it's like very low in protein compared to like seitan or like tofu and things like that. So, but I would stick with like the main protein sources, even protein powder, things like that.
Yeah. The other thing that I would say to do too is that day, do not eat any carbs and fat that morning. Like Christmas
Yeah.
morning, like
Just save it for later.
yeah. If
Yeah.
you know, like you're having a big meal, I mean, I don't know how, there's so many different ways people celebrate the holidays. Some people do, like my brother-in-law does, like Christmas breakfast. So obviously he's going to use more of his calories earlier in the day.
Never heard of that.
But yeah, but you have to kind of be smart and kind of plan your day out. So like if you know, like, okay, I'm going to my mom's house today, or I'm going to my in-laws house today, and they make a really big dinner with all this stuff, like obviously don't have a bagel for breakfast. Like it's not a cheat day. Those things don't exist. Like people say that, oh, it's a cheat day. It's a cheat day.
Yeah.
It's like it's a holiday. It's one day. It's not going to kill me. It's like you can gain fat from one day. You definitely can. But you want to try to make sure that you keep it, I want you to enjoy yourself. And that's why we mentioned like the half rule and eating slower and things like that. But you need to also understand, like, you can't think like that because you're going to put on a lot of weight really fast.
Yeah. I like that, your body is like the nutritional IRS. They're going to figure out every single calorie that is spent or eaten. Like every calorie you eat, your body does not miss one. It's a really complex, like amazing machine, but like the IRS, they don't miss a single penny that you spend. Your body knows every single calorie. So every sip, every, bite, every lick, whatever it may be, every like little grab of like an M&M or whatever it may be, your body knows exactly. There's no sneaking calories into it. It's just plain and simple.
And your body's going to catch you if you try to money launder.
Yeah, that too, yeah. Sweeping calories underneath the rug. It's like, well, hold on a second there. I know where all that's going.
That's a good way to put it, actually. And I like that analogy a lot because there's no getting around it. You have to pay your taxes no matter what. And it's the same thing. You have to pay your calorie taxes no matter what you eat anyway, whether you want to believe that or not. Like you said, like people eat bites of stuff and those bites add up quick.
Yeah. Especially with like high calorie. One cookie is like 60, 70 calories, maybe more. Chocolate chip cookies are very high in calories. I mean, it's pretty much, a lot of these cookies are butter and sugar. Trust me, I've been looking up the nutrition facts, but a lot of these cookies are just straight up like butter, sugar, chocolate, milk, flour, things like that. They add up significantly quickly. Like they're but that, remember, a lot of these nutrition habits allow you to actually enjoy your food without feeling deprived. If you eat slowly and you eat till you're about 80% full or do the half rule, you enjoy your food and you don't want to like shovel it down because you're eating it slowly. You're being mindful. You're being cognizant of how much is going in. At the end of the day, it's probably not going to be so much of like I was so restricted. You'll be okay.
I want to throw a bonus thing in there. So Tom, let's talk about if someone does overdo it. Maybe they listen to this podcast or they watch this video on YouTube Christmas night. And
no,
it's already too late. It's like everything's already eaten. Well, what do you do then? Okay, so you made the mistake, you effed up. What should you do? Should you not eat tomorrow? Should you do extra cardio? I would say, honestly, the best thing to do is just pretend it didn't happen and just start again tomorrow. The worst thing that you can do, and this will bring the IRS to come and you have to pay your taxes, like Tom was saying before, the worst thing you do is have leftovers the next day. If you turn Christmas Eve is on a Friday. So we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, everyone's going back to work, right? So if you make Friday to Sunday the same as the fact that it's all bad, like you just go crazy all weekend, that's half the week right there. You're going to spoil 2 weeks worth of progress easily.
Weight, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say, as a follow-up to all these, do not let these days bleed into the next. Do not. So, and I guess another strategy we should talk about, I keep extending this, but I think another quick strategy we should talk about, Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, what do, right? Like, do you eat bad for both? I would say you just got to pick and choose. If you know Christmas Day is going to be like the bigger day of eating, go easy on Christmas Eve. And you don't have to partake in eating everything. You don't have to. I don't know why people just get the assumption that like they need to. You don't need to do anything.
You know what I think it is too? So I actually do things I do an event on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but I basically practice what we're saying right now. Like, so Friday, I'm going to go to my family, extended family's house. We're going to have dinner over there. So I'm not going to eat a lot of food like throughout the day. I'm going to mainly wake up, have protein. And, I actually like to go with like raw vegetables because it fills me up more, like carrots, broccoli, whatever. Call me weird, but it works. It fills me up. And obviously the protein is obviously very filling. So, that works. And then I have that one meal later on in the day, our dinner meal. That's where I get most of my calories for the day in. Then do the same exact thing for Christmas Day. So it's just one meal on each day. If you're having like a Christmas breakfast and a Christmas lunch and a Christmas dinner, it's like, that's 3 meals. Like easily you could fit 800 or 1,000 calories in each meal. And now we're talking like a decent amount of calories, and I will add, I actually made this post earlier this week, but it is Tuesday, December 21st, right now as we're recording this. There is still time right now as you're watching this to go get supportive foods, bring them home so that on the 26th, you have a supportive environment you're in. It's not like 10,000 cookies to 1 piece of chicken. You're going to have a lot more nutritious food to support your goals rather than all the unhealthy food, or not unhealthy, I should say the not very nutritious foods. Okay, so prep for it now. You want to look ahead and make sure that you're stocked up and ready.
And the morning, like after, you got to start that meal off right. Like you have to start that day off correctly. Like that's Sunday. It's Sunday, right? Sunday's the first day that there's nothing.
Yeah, I think Sunday's the 26th. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Sunday, right? The day after Christmas, you have to start that breakfast meal off right and let that momentum build into the next meal, and then you'll be back on track before you know it. And the holidays will be over and it's just a little bump, into it. But you just got to be able, like we said, use these strategies, take what you want from this and make it your own, and just save yourself the extra heartache when you get on the scale Monday morning.
Yeah, don't stress it. Listen, nobody's going to be perfect and count like every single macro and every single gram on like a holiday dinner. And listen, if you do feel a little like you overindulged a little, or maybe you feel a little guilty, just know that you're not alone. Go to the gym and get a really great pump. Go and get a great workout in. Put all those beautiful nutrients to work. Put them to good use. And you're going to feel literally great. You're going to feel fine right after that. Okay?
Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, listen, guys, if you've enjoyed this and you're interested in taking yourself to the next level, head on over to freefitnesschat.com. You could book a call right on our calendar and you could talk to us directly about your goals, and we could figure out a plan of attack to help you get there. But for right now, it's Coach AB with Coach Tom Merck signing off. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.